Hi Maria, I'm Patrick Jambildesilio. I'm gonna be your caregiver today. I'm here to help you with your range of motion exercises. Okay? And before to proceed, make sure that your hand is clean and sanitize it. Now I'm going to start a shoulder exercises. I'm going to start flexion and extension with the upper arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I'm going to do a abduction and adduction. Abduction and adduction. Next, we'll do a rotation of the shoulder. Outward rotation, inward rotation. Outward rotation, inward rotation. Outward rotation, inward rotation. Make sure that I have a upper arm 90-degree angle from the body. Now I'm going to work your elbow. Extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension. Now we'll also do the supination, pronation, supination, pronation, supination, pronation. Now we work on your wrist. I start with flexion, extension, hyperextension. Flexion, extension, hyperextension. Flexion, extension, hyperextension. Now I will turn your hand and do a radial flexion on reflection. Radial flexion on reflection. Radial flexion on reflection. Now I will work your thumb. Now, abduction, adduction, abduction, adduction, abduction, adduction, flexion, extension, flexion, extension. Now I will work each finger individually. Abduction, adduction, abduction, adduction. Now, abduction, adduction, abduction, adduction, abduction, adduction, abduction, adduction. Now I'm going to do a flexion, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension. Now doing it in the other hand. Now, are you ready to work your leg now? Okay. Now expose the one leg. Well, I start working the hip. First thing I'm going to do is flexion, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension, and then abduction, adduction, abduction, adduction, abduction, adduction, abduction, adduction. Outward rotation, inward rotation, outward rotation, inward rotation, outward rotation, inward rotation, outward rotation, inward rotation. Next, I will work the knee. Flexion, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension. Next, we move to the ankle. Plantar flexion, dorsal flexion, plantar flexion, dorsal flexion, plantar flexion, dorsal flexion. Inward rotation, outward rotation, inward rotation, outward rotation, inward rotation, outward rotation, inward rotation, outward rotation. Next, we were going to work the toes. Abduction, adduction, 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 abduction, adduction. Then we will do flexion, extension of the toes. Flexion, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension. Then done. Now doing it in the same other leg. Is there anything else I can do for you, Maria? Okay. And you can wash your hand and make a record and report.